It's the most powerful show on television. High drama with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
The Speed Station welcomes you to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the final race of the 2020 Cup Series season for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race. And in the race analysis, today's event is 130 laps around this mile-and-a-half oval. Stage 1 ends on lap 32 and Stage 2 ends on lap 65. And as you all know, the Championship 4 format, we have 4 drivers contending for one championship, all entering today's race tied with 5,000 points. And those contenders are Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and Kyle Larson. 3 of those drivers chasing their second championship, and Larson going for his first after a runner-up in points last season. Erik Jones scores yet another pole here, this time at Atlanta Motor Speedway in his final points race for Joe Gibbs Racing, as it's been announced that Brandon Jones will be taking over that ride for next season. The highest qualified Championship 4 runner is Kyle Larson in second. Then Brad Keselowski third, Chase Elliott fourth, Kyle Busch in fifth, Aric Almirola sixth, Justin Allgaier seventh, Matt DiBenedetto in eighth, Kurt Busch in ninth, and Kevin Harvick rounding out the top 10. So that means all 4 Championship 4 contenders are starting within the top 10. It's also worth mentioning that today is Jimmie Johnson's final start in a points race in the 48-car 400 Motorsports. Obviously, with a clutch Stage 2 victory last week at Talladega, he has locked himself into the shootout next week for stage winners. But this will be the final points race for the 7-time champion of the 48 Allied Chevrolet.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And there's the green flag for the final points race of the 2020 Cup Series season. Erik Jones getting the jump into turn number 1 above Kyle Larson. Kyle Busch on the inside already trying to take the championship lead. Busch has now got third position. Brad Keselowski up into second. Erik Jones still patrolling the field. Keselowski and Kyle Busch just made contact as they exited turn number 2. Now the 2 car side by side with the 20 for the lead into turn 3. As you can tell, this racetrack has been resurfaced, as well as progressive banking, as you see the 20 car getting a run off the top side. At the start-finish line, it will be Erik Jones to lead lap number 1 at Atlanta. Still Brad Keselowski running up in second position. The 8 car of Tyler Reddick making it 3 wide on the inside. Underneath last week's winner, Michael McDowell in the 34. The Busch brothers now running nose to tail on the inside line for the battle for the championship lead. But here comes Larson on the top going for the position as the 2 car of Keselowski now has the run on the 20 car of Jones. To the inside line, entering turn number 1. Still side by side as Jones is trying to make the outside line work. There's progressive banking up there. And the Roval race winner, the 42 car of Justin Allgaier, waiting in third. Still side by side for the lead through 3 and 4. It looks like Jones will clear Keselowski off of turn number 4. Oh, we got contact. Aric Almirola spinning into the grass. The 9 car of Chase Elliott has almost been turned around. Not quite sure yet if we have a caution flag, but we will now. Harvick into the wall. Kevin Harvick, a championship 4 contender, has just gotten up into the outside wall. Jimmie Johnson now into the mess. And they're still wrecking as the field races back to the caution flag. And this is the race back to the start-finish line. It's the 2 car of Keselowski being pushed by Kurt Busch into the top spot. Keselowski leads the field back to the stripe above Jones, Kurt Busch, Justin Allgaier, and Kyle Busch. The 3 other championship 4 contenders made it through, but Harvick was not so lucky. Coming off of turn number 4, look at this pack racing that we had. The 21 car of Matt DiBenedetto makes contact with the 10 of Aric Almirola. spinning down into the 9 car of Chase Elliott and the 32 of Corey LaJoie. They just about spin out. Really some great car control out of those two, but then they make contact with each other heading back up the racetrack, and a huge incident unfolds, similar to Byron's flip here last season, as the 9 and 13 make contact, both going upside down, as well as the 93 of Myatt Snyder. The Southern 500 winner goes over. 9 car Chase Elliott rests down on the 32. The 13 car of Ty Dillon still flipping down the front stretch. That's the final start for Germain Racing, ending in a flip. And then you have the 8 car of Reddick still getting clipped by the 21 of DiBenedetto, who set off the first incident, carrying the 8 all the way up into the outside wall, almost flips the 8 car over. Heavy rear end and left side damage on the 4 car of Harvick as well. Ryan Blaney almost gets turned around by the 19, manages to miss it, and as Herring and Byron get carried up into the outside wall, the 95 then cuts down on Michael McDowell. Johnson gets put up into the middle of this mix as the 95 goes up the racetrack. Suarez makes contact. The 48 car gets carried up into the outside wall. Contact still getting made. Newman gets turned around. Johnson puts the 22 into the wall. Ankrum gets into it. A huge mess early, very similar to what we had here last season. And still Johnson making contact with the 22. And in the race off pit road, we have had a huge shakeup in the front runners. It is playoff contender Kyle Larson taking up the top spot above Ryan Blaney. Then the 38 car of John Hunter Nemechek, who is actually already 1 lap down, separates the 12 from the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Then behind Keselowski is Kurt Busch in the 1, and the 42 car of Justin Allgaier rounding out your top 5. Well, Harvick is still in the championship fight, but it's definitely going to be difficult for him trying to get around the much more competitive 57, 18, and 1 cars as they still run clean, and that 4 car's got a whole lot of damage, right, left, and rear end damage. This is very similar to Harvick's incident at Phoenix last season that knocked him out of championship contention in the final race. He was in the championship for then, and he blew a tire in that race. Knocked him all the way out of contention, put him, I believe, 2 laps down, led to Clint Boyer winning the championship last season. Harvick has a lot of ground to make up if he has a shot at it this time around. So already, after just 7 laps here at Atlanta, we have had the 11, 21, 9, 55, 93, and 13 cars all drop out of today's race. And also for an update on the situation of Jimmy Johnson, they had a slow pit stop, got him out in 29th position, but he remains on the lead lap and has less damage than quite a few cars restarting ahead of him. Green flag. Kurt Busch jumping up to the outside line to get around the lap traffic, but Keselowski uses that 38 car as a pick against the 1, as already we have the 12 car going to the inside of Larson. Pass for the lead through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Blaney is now out front. He was your regular season champion, but does not have a shot at going for the championship this season. And there you see the 38 car of John Hunter Nemechek still blocking the outside line. Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch losing a lot of track position. Now Kurt Busch dives to the inside line to get around the 38, although he has dropped well outside the top 15. Tyler Ankrum really sent it in on the inside line. He just went 4 wide underneath McDowell and several others without a front end. Now the 57 car of Larson has gotten around the 12 on the outside line, but still Brad Keselowski battling the 57. Larson had to get out of the throttle as he exited the corner. Brad Keselowski is now back out front. The 12 car of Blaney held second at the stripe, trying to make it work on the inside into 1. Larson drives up to the outside of the 12 on the exit of 2, trying to make the high line work, and he will take up second. And do not forget about Timothy Peters in the 87. Nemco really outdoing themselves this season. Currently running in 4th spot in the Fleetwing Ford. And look at the speed of this 1 car, Kurt Busch. He has already driven his way up into 10th spot. A lot of track time made up in just the last 2 laps. Already on the inside line of Buescher and Sieg. Looks like he will get around those 2 cars as Clint Boyer tried to make a 3-wide move on the bottom. But Martin Truex Jr., using momentum off the top, will take up 3rd. Peters falling back a couple positions as here comes the 57, trying to make a run work off the top. We got a car coming off pit road. It is Kevin Harvick as well as the 95 car of Christopher Bell. So now Harvick is 1 lap down. Terrible news for the 4. It looks like yet again he will be laps behind the point leader at the end of the day, just like last season, as we have a 3-wide move on the inside line for second. Larson's going to clear Clint Boyer on the bottom, now cuts to the inside to try to challenge the 2 car of Keselowski for the lead. Side by side through 1 and 2. Larson making the inside line stick. The 57 car is now back out front. Brad Keselowski drops to second, Truex in third, as the 12 and 81 cars of Blaney and Jones battle for 4th spot. Clint Boyer still trying to make the very bottom work for a 3-wide move. Brandon Jones getting momentum off the high side. 2-car Keselowski goes up to block. Now 4 wide. Peters trying to go through the near middle. As the 81 car of Brandon Jones now getting momentum on the high side of the 2. Larson goes up to block. But it looks like Brandon Jones is going to be able to take up second, as now here comes Truex with a 3-wide move for the lead. Incredible racing on the resurfaced Atlanta Motor Speedway as the 81 tried to take a look to the outside. Could not quite do it, as Clint Boyer still making the 3-wide move work on the bottom. He's getting a push from Kurt Busch. 4 wide yet again. Brad Keselowski trying to stick it in. Got a 4-wide battle for second. Almost contact between the 19 and 2 cars as the 81 of Brandon Jones gets the momentum off the top. Jones is now your leader. Kyle Larson drops down to second spot. Ryan Sieg trying to make it work on the top for second. A great showing by some underfunded teams of XCI and RSS Racing, as Sieg now going way up to the high side, trying to battle the 81 car for the lead, as Larson tries to make it work on the bottom. Now it's a 2-man race for the lead between the 57 and 81. Looks like the 81 car of Jones will clear him, as well as the 39 of Sieg. But yet again, that 57 car able to get momentum on the bottom, as the 39 car of Sieg jumps up to the outside line, got momentum off of turn 4. And here comes Larson yet again, trying to make it 3 wide into 1. Trying to make it stick. He's got the left sides on the paint. But still, they run 3 wide down the backstretch. The 39 car getting the advantage as the 81 drops through the middle. The high line is preferred through 3 and 4, but the 81 really dove it in through the middle lane. Larson falling back several positions, as at the stripe, it is Jones to still lead the lap. Brad Keselowski making it work through the middle, gets up to the bumper of the 39, trying to push him past the 57 car of Larson. There's the battle for the championship between Larson and Kurt Busch. Into turn 3, Kurt Busch easily takes the spot off Larson. And look at this run by Brad Keselowski on the high side. That's going to move the 2 car up into second, now cuts to the bottom, trying to challenge Brandon Jones for the lead into turn 1. These two still run side by side as they now come out of turn number 2. 2 car of Keselowski just barely not clear, as there are now 3 Toyotas in the top 5, with Eric Jones now getting up into the mix, going for second spot around the 2 car of Keselowski, now going way to the top to try to get around the 81. At the stripe, it is your pole sitter, Eric Jones, as the championship lead is yet again swapped. It is now out to Kurt Busch in the 1, as these 2 Toyotas run side by side for the top spot. Kurt Busch with momentum off the high side, now trying to battle the 81 for second. And it looks like Busch is going to take the position, now trying to make it stick on the very top, going for the lead. But Clint Boyer shoots it to the inside. He was his pusher down the front stretch. Boyer now going for second, but still Kurt Busch challenging for the lead on the 20 car of Jones. Jones now pulling away as the 1 had to get out of the throttle. And Clint Boyer has taken up second. He is your race winner from Atlanta of last season, the early 2019 race. Now here comes Brandon Jones to the inside of the 14. As you see, the 18 car of Kyle Busch was way on the bottom, trying to make up spots. Michael McDowell with a great showing in the 34, currently runs in 9th. Eric Jones still in the top spot. The 14 car of Boyer side by side with the 81. Looks like Boyer's going to retake 2nd. 81 and 1 cars battle for 3rd. Less than 10 laps to go in stage number 1 for Eric Jones in the 20, as there's a lap car right up in front of him, that being the 6 car of Ryan Newman. Let's see if he'll try to hold up the field any. Jones going to the inside of the 6, so that means Newman will be blocking the outside line into turn number 3. That's the preferred lane in these sets of corners. Here comes Brandon Jones trying to make the look to the inside of the 20 as they make contact as they exit turn 4. Kurt Busch almost got spun around. Had to drive through the grass on the front stretch as Ryan Sieg goes on the top to get around him. Now the 10 and 81 cars battle side by side for 2nd. Off the top, it looks like it's going to be Brandon Jones to clear the 10. 2 more lap cars up in front of Eric Jones, Corey LaJoie and William Byron. Jones is going to go to the top to try to pass the lap traffic. The 24 car of Byron just barely blocks him, as now the inside line is being clogged by LaJoie as Eric Almirola tries to make up spots on the bottom. The 81 and 10 cars trying to split the 24 car of Byron as Jones got out of the throttle as they exited the corner. 4 wide move by Keselowski on the bottom. Nose to tail running for 1st through 5th. As now there's yet again another lap car up in front of the leader, that being the 38 of Nemechek. Jones cuts down to the bottom to lap that car. Outside line, though, is going to be blocked slightly, that being Clint Boyer. So as the field has started to spread out, your current top 5 is Eric Jones above Eric Almirola, then Brandon Jones, Kurt Busch, and Brad Keselowski. As Kurt Busch now goes to the inside of the 81, trying to make up 3rd spot. Brandon Jones still using the momentum off the top side. Looks like he might be able to clear the 1 as they exit turn 2. He's also going to have the draft from the 10. But as the 10 car starts to fall back, that 1 car is moving forward. Kurt Busch might try to get around 2 cars in 1 move. Looks like he might be able to do it. Currently runs in 3rd, going for 2nd on the 10. But don't forget about his brother, Kyle Busch, the Three Musketeers Toyota, gaining a lot of ground on the inside line. He currently runs in 8th spot. Currently 2nd in points to his brother. Eric Jones got out of the throttle as they exited turn number 2. Let the 1 car of Kurt Busch right up to the quarter panel. Off 3 and 4, they were running side by side, but the 10 car giving the 20 a push back to the stripe. It is Eric Jones to lead at the start-finish line. Almirola still resides in 2nd spot as the 81 trying to make the move off the top to retake 3rd. And look at who has driven his way up into 5th. That's Kyle Busch in the 18. Remember what these 2 brothers did to finish, I believe, 5th in the All-Star race back in 2007? Well, imagine these 2 going for a championship, because that's the very situation we're looking at. Kyle Busch now finally jumps up to the high side, working with the train of momentum being built by the 81, 10, and 20, trying to work his way past the 1 car of Kurt Busch on the bottom. Now just 2 laps to go in stage 1. Eric Jones still your leader, Almirola running in 2nd, Kurt Busch currently in 3rd, battling with the 81 for the position. Through 3 and 4, the 81 car vastly slowed down the 18 as Michael McDowell gets up to the quarter panel as the 1 car of Kurt Busch now side by side with the 10. White flag in stage 1. Kurt Busch now trying to make the move to the inside into turn 1. Side by side as they exit turn 2. Lap car up into the mix, that's Drew Herring in the 96. Still side by side into turn 3. Kurt Busch backs way out of the throttle, trying to back up the corner. Jones will have the preferred momentum off the top side, will clear the one car back to the stripe. And it's Eric Jones to win stage number 1 at Atlanta. Getting redemption over a second-place finish to Kurt Busch at Martinsville just a couple weeks ago. Kurt Busch brings it home second in the stage. In third spot, it is Eric Almirola. Fourth is Clint Boyer. And fifth is Michael McDowell, coming 1 week off of his first career win at Talladega. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by Built by Me Chassis and Engine Parts, by Smeaty, the real canned meat paste, and by Start and Park, the official motel brand of NASCAR. And the first car off pit road was Kurt Busch taking the lead off of Eric Jones, who drops down to second. Then Clint Boyer, Michael McDowell getting off in fourth, and Eric Almirola in fifth. And look at this. We have had one car stay out on this cycle of the caution. It's the heavily damaged 77 car of Quinn Half. I love this team's strategies. I mean, remember Kansas last season with their fantastic fuel mileage win? Yet again, they're back at it, trying to take a wrecked race car and pull off something with it. Now, whether or not this is some strange plan by Chip Ganassi due to the 77 car's CGR connections blocking for Kurt Busch, I'm not really sure. But definitely an odd strategy plan by the 77. And there's the green flag for stage 2. Kurt Busch already jumps up to the high line to pass the 77, who is massively off the pace. Eric Jones getting blocked, the stage 1 winner, losing about 20 positions on the restart. Owen Larson almost gets turned around all the way onto the apron, but he manages to save it. An impressive save by the driver of the 57, as currently the 1 car of Kurt Busch still your leader. The 14 car of Boyer running in second. As now we have a move by Michael McDowell trying to build momentum on the top to try to take third. Larson already aggressively going for positions. On the inside line, jumps to the bottom of the 42, which he started this season driving in. Getting a bit of a push from the 81 car of Brandon Jones, trying to get his way back up into the top 5. Got a Stewart-Haas battle for second spot right now between Boyer and Almirola. As at the start-finish line, it was Boyer to retain second spot. Now we got a bit of a 3-wide move on the inside line by the 81 car of Jones, trying to make it stick on the bottom in a move for second. We should also mention that the 77 car of Quinn Half has brought that Chevrolet onto pit road. Could not stay out very many more laps without running out of gas, as the 10 car of Eric Almirola is now up into second, challenging the 1 for the lead into turn 1. But it looks like Kurt Busch is going to get a very good exit of turn number 2. Still side by side, though, down the back stretch, as the 10 car has a little bit more drafting help behind him. But Kurt Busch will easily clear the 10 car as they exit turn 4. Kyle Busch now back up into the mix, running in the middle, trying to draft with a fellow Toyota, that being Brandon Jones. Now a 3-wide move on the inside for second. Keselowski going in on the bottom. Keselowski could not quite do it as the 10 car of Almirola still retains the spot, trying to build the momentum into turn 3. Almost had enough to get to the bumper of the 1, but Kurt Busch gets a very good exit compared to the 10 car. Almirola is losing momentum on the exit of the corners. That's where Kurt Busch keeps beating him, and that's why he keeps falling back into the hands of Keselowski and Boyer. Now side by side, down the back straightaway for second. It is Keselowski on the bottom, Jones in the middle, and Almirola on the top. Into turn number 3, the 2 car of Keselowski gets a very good run on the bottom, now side by side with Kurt Busch. At the stripe, it is Kurt Busch to lead the lap. Through 1 and 2, the 1 car gets a bit of a push, but gets out of the throttle. Brad Keselowski is now back out front, clearing the point leader. The yellow flag is out for a spin off of turn number 4. Kyle Busch, a playoff contender, and Clint Bowyer made contact, sending each other into the infield grass, as now we have a battle for the lead. Back to the stripe. It will be the 1 car of Kurt Busch to lead the field in a pass off the high side of the 2 car of Keselowski, who drops down to 2nd. Then Brandon Jones running in 3rd, Eric Almirola 4th, and Justin Allgaier in 5th. And here's what happened while battling for 5th position. The 14 and 42 cars make contact, sending the 14 car of Bowyer down into the 18 car of Kyle Busch. So these two continue to spin off of turn number 4 as the 14 car of Bowyer goes completely around, but the 18 car of Kyle Busch keeps it straight. In fact, with style points, I may add, goes down pit road and completes his service. And by pitting this way, he is still on the lead lap. Chip Ganassi Racing 1-2 off of pit road, with Justin Allgaier taking the lead through the pit stops, then Kurt Busch getting off in 2nd, Brad Keselowski 3rd, Martin Truex Jr. 4th, and Brandon Jones in 5th. And as you saw on our replay, the 18 team was not actually able to service the 18 car, as he came down pit road without actually committing through any sort of commitment line. But on this cycle of stops, he still got out in 25th spot and is in fact still on the lead lap with a shot at the championship. And how about this for an upset story? The 51 car of Joey Gase currently runs in 20th spot for Rick Ware Racing in front of several well more funded teams. Green flag. Here comes Kurt Busch yet again, jumping to the outside line. Kurt Busch is going to easily retake the lead into turn number 1. Brad Keselowski currently running in 2nd, as the inside line being definitely slowed up by the 42 car of Justin Allgaier as they exit turn 2. Through 3 and 4, here comes the 2 car of Keselowski to the inside of the 1. To the bumper as they exit the corner. Now a 3-wide move near 10th position by the 87 of Timothy Peters. Oh, hard impact for the 17. Upside down he goes. Your pole sitter is now out of the race. Caution flag is out yet again. Horrible incident on the front straightaway at Atlanta. Here's your race back to the caution flag between the 2 and 1. Still side by side as the 2 car went to side draft the 1. Down to the line, it is going to be the 1 car of Kurt Busch still leading the field above Brad Keselowski, then Brandon Jones, Eric Almirola, and Ryan Blaney. This racetrack is incredibly flip prone, especially on the front stretch, as the 17 car makes contact with the 20. Jones spins him down to the 3, then Jones finishes him off by turning him almost straight into the outside wall. A huge impact for the 17 car of Buescher. Then that ricochets back into the 51 car of Joey Gase, who makes hard contact with the 20 car of Jones, flipping him upside down. Then the flipping 20 car pushes the 17 car upside down. And look at the airtime on the 20. As he does a barrel roll down the front stretch into turn 1, lands on top the 17. And a terrible incident entering turn 1 as these two continue to flip through turn 1. And as we go on board with Cole Custer on the front straightaway, look at the straight impact by the 17. And Cole Custer almost goes under the 20 car of Eric Jones. That's an incredible incident on the front stretch at Atlanta. Who would think this would be possibly our most spectacular crash of the season? Unlike Matt Kenseth's crash at Pocono earlier this season, both drivers have walked away from today's incident, but we have had another incident under caution as the 2 car of Keselowski makes pretty heavy contact with the 10 car of Eric Almirola, trying to spin the 10 car around. So we have quite a few cars coming down pit road, including the 3 remaining lead lap playoff contenders of Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch. But Brandon Jones, Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., and Michael McDowell have decided to stay out. So that is going to put your playoff contenders very far back in the field, behind even certain lap cars. And also, look at the skid marks that the 17 car has on the racetrack. That is dead straight into the safer barrier. That's an incredible incident. And obviously, after that terrible incident on the front straightaway, the 2017 and 51 cars are all out of today's race with heavy damage. We should mention that through pit strategy, both RCR cars are now within the top 10, with Reddick running in 6th and Dillon in 7th, as the 23 car of Tyler Ankrum now runs in 9th due to staying out. He doesn't even have a front bumper cover, nor does the 8 car have a rear bumper cover. So these cars are going to be quite slow on the restart, with all the playoff and championship 4 contenders starting well behind them. And Jimmy Johnson on pit road actually got out ahead of Kyle Busch in the 18 car. Johnson now starting to rebound as he currently runs in 19th spot. And there's the green flag with just 11 laps to go in stage 2. Yet again, we have another attempted move to the high side to improve position on the restart, that being the 34 car of Michael McDowell, going to the outside of the 39, trying to make his way up into 4th. Looks like it's not going to work as the 39 and 19 cars have hooked up on the inside, pushing each other to position. Now the 19 and 81 cars battle for the top spot into turns 3 and 4. Currently Truex inching ahead, as we have quite a bit of a stack up near the back due to lap traffic. A little bit of contact right there as the 22 car Logano goes up into the wall. Kyle Busch gets some right side damage as he spins around on the front stretch. Heavy damage on the 33 car of Magnussen as well, as Kurt Busch managed to avoid it. Now we are racing back to the start-finish line with the 81 car of Brandon Jones out front, as the 19 car Truex had to get out of the throttle as they exited turn 2. Racing back to the stripe. It looks like the 10 car doesn't have anything for the 81, as it will be Brandon Jones leading the field back to the stripe above Almirola, then Truex, McDowell, and C. This crash happened just behind Kurt Busch in the 1, as there you see the 42 yet again making contact with the 33. Then Magnussen spins the 22 car Logano up into the 87 and the 88 cars. Logano sliding sideways on the front stretch, then Magnussen clips the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Busch slides sideways, then the 22 gets into him, spins him around on the front stretch, rear end damage as well on the 18 car of Busch. And then Magnussen drives into the rear end of the 18. So possibly another playoff contender out of championship contention. And on this cycle of the caution, we have had yet again one car stay out, but it's a championship 4 contender. Kyle Larson in the 57 has now assumed the top spot. In the race off pit road, it will be Kurt Busch getting out in front of Jimmy Johnson, then Tyler Ankrum, Justin Allgaier, and Daniel Suarez. So a huge shakeup off pit road, as they are still trying to service the damage on the 18 car of Kyle Busch. So now Logano, Bowman, and Newman are out of today's race. Currently, we only have 27 cars still running. And what Larson's team is looking for here at the end of stage 2 is to try to win the second stage, as they will likely come down pit road at the stage caution. And there's the green flag with just 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Kurt Busch jumps up to the outside line, battling for the lead and the top spot in the championship. Larson getting a bit of a push just about from Jimmy Johnson, as now the Ganassi cars, first and second on the outside line, still side by side with Johnson, as now Johnson starts to fade back. But still Kyle Larson, your leader. Nose to tail through 3 and 4 as the 1 car of Kurt Busch jumps to the outside line. But here comes Allgaier on the bottom. Now Allgaier and the 57 cars side by side. Brandon Jones trying to make it stick through the middle. Larson got out of the throttle. Now it's down to Jones and Allgaier going for the lead. A little bit of contact right there between Keselowski and the 41. Cole Custer had to make an evasive move onto the apron, but managed to keep it together. Larson now straight to the bumper of Allgaier in the 42 car. Larson battling his former team owner of Chip Ganassi for the championship. Into turn number 1. The 42 and 57 cars run side by side for second spot, with Brandon Jones still your leader. Ryan Blaney now getting around several cars to move up into the top 10, finally making his name known in today's race at Atlanta, as here comes the one car of Kurt Busch to the inside of the 57. These two still battling for the championship, as now Brad Keselowski tries to go through the middle of that battle. Those three running for third position. Blaney and Kurt Busch hooked up on the inside line, as Larson and Custer are working out on the top, as the 12 and 1 cars separated on the bottom. It's still Larson, your championship leader, as now the field runs through 3 and 4, with Brandon Jones with a comfortable lead, sees the white flag in stage 2. Such an intense battle for second, as here comes Blaney going 3 wide on the bottom. Now side by side goes the Team Penske teammates down the backstretch for second. Through 3 and 4, the 2 car of Keselowski is nowhere near close enough to the 81 to actually challenge him for the stage win. So it is going to be Brandon Jones to win stage number 2 at Atlanta. Above Brad Keselowski, then Ryan Blaney. Justin Allgaier brought it home in 4th, and Kyle Larson in 5th. So at the end of this stage, we are now halfway through today's race. Kyle Larson is still your point leader, with the 1 car of Kurt Busch running in 9th. And Kyle Busch, even with damage, was able to drive his way up to 17th by the end of the stage. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by Built by Me Chassis and Engine Parts, by Smeat Heat, the real canned meat paste, and by Start and Park, the official motel brand of NASCAR. And folks, as we have now seen the conclusion of every stage ran this season in a points race, the field is now set for the Bud Shootout next week. And take a look at this shakeup off pit road. It is Cole Custer getting out in 1st, then Austin Dillon 2nd, Brandon Jones in 3rd. Looks like Magnussen might have edged Keselowski for 4th, with the 2 car dropping down to 5th. Johnson as well making up several spots off pit road, and look at how far the playoff contenders fell. The 1 car of Kurt Busch got out around 13th. Then several positions behind him is the 57 car of Larson. Just behind Larson is the 18 car of Kyle Busch. However, the 4 car of Kevin Harvick resides 1 lap down in 23rd spot. So we know very well that the 33 car of Magnussen's had a severe aerodynamic disadvantage at the restart. Has no front bumper cover nor hood. Also some rear end damage from an impact earlier. Remember, he was involved in that spin, including Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. But he currently resides in 4th for this restart. And there's the green flag for the final stage at Atlanta. Currently, your highest running playoff contender is Kurt Busch, who's restarting in 12th, as the lap car of Jan Magnussen blocks a lot of the inside line. Kurt Busch, though, jumping to the top. Smart decision on his part, as currently now Brandon Jones has taken the lead off the 41 car into turn number 3. He restarted in 3rd and jumped his way all the way up to the lead in 1 lap, as now Custer's dropped down to 2nd and Austin Dillon currently running in 3rd, 4 wide. The championship lead has just been taken by Kyle Busch. Due to all the lap traffic, specifically the 33 car of Magnussen. Remember Magnussen getting turned at Daytona by the 1 car of Kurt Busch? I wonder if that was somewhat retaliation. Kurt Busch knocked Magnussen out of a chance at contending for the playoffs. Magnussen might have just destroyed Kurt Busch's chance at winning a championship. But now Kyle Busch, after wrecking twice and currently has no rear bumper cover, is your point leader. He runs within the top 10. He runs currently in 9th spot. And now we have 2 Penske cars going after 2nd spot, as Ryan Blaney goes to the inside of his teammate Brad Keselowski to take up 2nd. Kurt Busch currently being blocked by the 8 car of Tyler Reddick on the inside line. Now we have a bit of a 3 wide move down the front straightaway by Martin Truex Jr. on the inside line, trying to make his way up into 4th position. And the 19 car Truex will take the position out of turn number 2 as the Penske teammates still running side by side for second with Brandon Jones, your leader. Jones chasing his second career win after winning at Pocono earlier this year. Now Kurt Busch has taken the championship lead back off his brother as Austin Dillon blocked the 18 car through 3 and 4. Oh, and the 19 car of Truex is blowing up. Martin Truex Jr. is now out of today's race as look at Larson thread the needle. He just made up about 5 or 6 spots making that dangerous move as the yellow flag is back out. The 81 car of Brandon Jones has dropped down to second with the 2 car Keselowski taking the lead. In the race back to the start-finish line, it was Keselowski your leader. Above Jones, then Almirola, Ryan Blaney, and Kurt Busch drove his way all the way up to 5th. So the moment Martin Truex Jr. drives up into 4th spot, the 19 car's engine lets go right up in front of Justin Allgaier. This also leads to Kyle Busch being severely blocked behind this mess. But look at Larson. He made contact with the 3 car of Austin Dillon through the middle and sparks flew about, but he passed a good 7 cars with that move. Sparking going 4 wide with a car laying oil down in front of you. And while that was going on, Brad Keselowski made a big move into turn number 1, clearing the 81 car of Brandon Jones, which allowed him to lead the field back to the stripe. So this time we've had a couple of cars stay out yet again. Those include the 39 car of Ryan Sieg, then Larson, who now has assumed your point lead. Then Allgaier and McDowell have decided to all stay out. But your first car off the pit road was actually Eric Almirola, getting out in front of Ryan Blaney, then Brandon Jones and Timothy Peters. The 1 car of Kurt Busch, yet again, fell back several spots with a slow stop. Right behind him is his brother Kyle Busch. Green flag. Ryan Sieg is your leader. Up in front of the leaders, though, is the 4 car of Harvick, who is 1 lap down, trying to not fall 2 laps down, as Larson now goes to the outside. Side by side for the lead into turn number 1, as last week's winner McDowell now goes up to second, getting around the 57. McDowell trying to make a move to the inside of the 39. These two battling for the top spot as the 4 car of Harvick blocking Larson. And Michael McDowell edging ahead of the 39 car down to the start-finish line. It was Michael McDowell to lead at the start-finish line. Now a 3-wide move, though, by Almirola on the bottom. And as they exit turn number 2, the 10 car has the advantage at the moment. The 34 with a big run through the middle. Into turn number 3, they still run 3 wide for the top spot. Middle lane starting to work with McDowell getting the advantage above the 10. Down to the start-finish line, it was still Michael McDowell to lead. Currently second, still being held by Ryan Sieg on the top side. Almirola still putting it 3 wide on the bottom. Now back down to 2 wide as Ryan Sieg backs out. Almost no drafting help on the inside line for Almirola. McDowell has cleared the field. Could you imagine if he goes 2 in a row? But as I say that, there goes the 10 car to the inside. Eric Almirola is now your leader at Atlanta, with Kyle Larson still running in second as your point leader. Look at that 2 car. Keselowski just stuck it in on the bottom, going 3 wide. Keselowski now up into the top 5, currently battling with McDowell for 3rd. And now here comes Larson to the high side, his classic line, trying to build momentum around the 10 car of Almirola. Through turns 1 and 2, the 2 car of Keselowski starting to gain some ground on the 57. Running on the inside line, still side by side with the 34, as now Brandon Jones goes 3 wide. Now here comes Larson, cuts down to the inside line of the 10 car of Almirola. But Brad Keselowski still trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. At the stripe, it was Almirola to lead the lap. Into turn 1. For the moment, it's the 57, but the 2 car of Keselowski forced him up off the bottom. Keselowski backs out, still side by side between the 57 and 10. Off of turn 4, it's going to be Almirola to take the lead, with the 2 car Keselowski filing into second. Now still side by side for third spot between the 81 and 57 of Jones and Larson. Looks like Larson will clear him into turn number 3. As Jones still running the very bottom, he's still losing time as the 2 car cuts up to the high side, trying to build momentum on the 10. Now cuts down to the bottom with Almirola losing time off of turn 4. Michael McDowell going to try to make it work through the middle, as Almirola is going to clear the 2 car of Keselowski off the high side of turn 2. Now with that 57 car of Kyle Larson stuck on the bottom, that's going to give Kurt Busch a clear chance at building momentum off the top to try to retake the point lead. But that was a great exit of turn number 4 for the 57, as he is now 3 wide for second. Now both Larson and Kurt Busch are on the inside line. Kyle Larson now trying to clear the 2 car of Keselowski on the back straightaway, as the 10 car of Eric Almirola has a very comfortable lead over the field. The 57 of Larson has now cleared Keselowski and Sieg for second. Keselowski, though, gets to the quarter panel. That 57 trying to bring him right back to him. Side by side into turn 1. Keselowski really dove it in. Now side by side with the 10. Brad Keselowski has now taken the lead as they exit turn 2. Still running the low line. Now cuts up in front of second place runner Almirola. Larson still trying to use the top as the 10 car got the run on the bottom. Back side by side with the 2 car Keselowski. At the stripe, it was still Almirola to lead at the line. But now here comes Justin Allgaier going 3 wide on the bottom. The 57 car dropping back through the middle. He now only has 1 lap car separating him from Kurt Busch. Now side by side into turn number 3 for the top spot. Justin Allgaier trying to make it work on the bottom. Still side by side as the 10 car goes down to side draft on the front stretch. That time it was Allgaier to lead at the start-finish line. The 42 car of Allgaier getting a bit of an advantage into turn number 3. Running the inside line, but the top is preferred through 3 and 4. The 10 car of Almirola is going to get some momentum off of the corner. And Almirola has yet again cleared second place runner Justin Allgaier, as McDowell still runs in 4th spot in the 34, being ran down by the 57 of Larson. Now down the back straightaway, they are once again side by side for the top spot between the 42 and 10 as they now run up on the lap car of Corey LaJoie. They're going to try to split him as they exit 4. The 42 car got slowed up slightly on the exit of the corner. So yet again, Almirola has cleared the field. And now LaJoie blocks a slight amount of the field. McDowell stuck behind him, as well as Keselowski. That looks like it's going to let Larson take up 3rd spot, as well as Kurt Busch moving up into 4th. Still side by side for the lead between the 42 and 10. Larson got out of the throttle as they exited turn number 4. Let the 34 car of McDowell past him. And now that's going to bring Kurt Busch right up to his back bumper. Now here comes the one on the inside line into turn 1. Kurt Busch moves the 57 car off of the inside line, as now we still have the ongoing battle for the lead, side by side, lap after lap. And it looks like the 57 car was able to jump to the high side to put some time on the 1 car of Kurt Busch as he had to get out of the throttle. And Kurt has now fallen behind the 34 and 2 cars, as well as the lap car of Kevin Harvick. At the present moment, the 42 car of Allgaier has the advantage above the 10 down the backstretch, but they still run side by side. Almirola trying to pinch that 42 car down on the entry to 3. At the stripe, it is still Allgaier to lead the lap. Into turn number 1. Looks like the 42 car of Allgaier is going to get the advantage and take the lead as they exit turn 2. And look at who has raced his way up into 7th. It's the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. As we mentioned in pre-race, he's in his final points race for Hendrick Motorsports, the team that won him 7 championships in the 48 car. As now Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson are stuck on the inside line. Johnson now trying to work with McDowell to pass Kurt Busch. Looks like Johnson's not going to be able to do it as the lap car of Kevin Harvick blocks Keselowski slightly. Here comes Kurt Busch with a run on the 57. Jumping up to the outside line, trying to use momentum as Larson goes 3 wide for position. Looks like into turn number 1, Kurt Busch is going to take the point lead back off the 57. Larson trying to make it work on the bottom. Looks like the 57 will get around the 2, as the field is now going to start to run up on even heavier lap traffic of Byron and John Hunter Nemechek. The 42 car of Justin Allgaier has put about a half-second separation above the 10 car of Almirola. A very great handling race car in clean air, but now there is side-by-side lap traffic right up in front of him. Allgaier got blocked into turn number 1, as now the 38 car of Nemechek jumps up to the outside line. That's going to impede the 42 car. As you see the 10 car of Almirola building a huge run on the 42, but where will he go to try to make the move? We got a couple cars coming onto the apron, including Larson and McDowell. They will be making pit stops this time by, as now Almirola right to the back bumper of Allgaier down the front stretch. Jimmy Johnson has raced his way up into 4th position as Kurt Busch is now being blocked by the lap traffic. Johnson trying to make it work on the top. Trying to pressure the 1 car of Busch into a mistake. This time by your race leader, Justin Allgaier, will be bringing the 42 car onto pit road. That throws the lead over to the 10 car of Almirola. Second, and there was contact right there between Kurt Busch and the lap car Nemechek. Second has been taken by Kurt Busch. Third on the inside line looks like it's going to be taken by Brad Keselowski. And still your 4th place runner is Jimmy Johnson. Keselowski moves all the way up to the top, trying to take second off of Kurt Busch in the 1. At the stripe, it is Keselowski to hold the position. Eric Almirola still out front, and these front runners have yet to bring it onto pit road. Kurt Busch making it work on the inside line, still running side by side with the 2, but it looks like Keselowski is going to clear him as they exit turn 2. Now Keselowski putting the pressure on the 10 car of Almirola for the lead as they exit turn number 4. Side by side at the start-finish line, it's still Almirola to lead at the line. Kurt Busch got out of the throttle as they entered turn 1. Jimmy Johnson right on the back bumper as they exit 2. A 3-wide move by Brandon Jones going through the middle to pass lap traffic. As still Almirola is your leader. The 2 car of Keselowski still residing in second, trying to figure out a line to get around that 10 car. Jimmy Johnson now trying to work the top on the 1. Thought about making the crossover, but now just giving a push to the 1 car down the front stretch. The 2 car of Keselowski all over the back bumper of the 10. Got a little bit out of the throttle as they exited turn 2. As Johnson and Kurt Busch still run nose to tail, but the 87 car of Peters now making significant gains on these 2. Right now, these front runners, especially Kurt Busch in the 1 and Kyle Busch in the 18, who currently runs in 11th, are praying for a caution because it would trap the 57 car of Kyle Larson 1 lap down and likely out of championship contention. But if this race goes all the way green, these front runners are going to have to make a pit stop. Larson won't have to. And that will likely give him needed track position, as now the 10 car of Almirola, the race leader, will be bringing that car onto pit road, as well as the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. So currently your race leader now is Brad Keselowski in first, above Kurt Busch running in second, and the 87 of Peters in third. And we have trouble on the backstretch. The 42 car of Justin Allgaier spins into the 39 car of Ryan Sieg. Yellow flag is out, with your race leader being Brad Keselowski above Kurt Busch and then Timothy Peters. So this has trapped the 57 car of Larson 1 lap down. In fact, there's only 10 cars on the lead lap. But 2 of them are playoff contenders, and they're both Busch brothers, with Kurt Busch currently running in second and Kyle in 8th. Jimmy Johnson, I believe, managed to stay on the lead lap. He is currently in 10th. And here's what happened on the back straightaway. The 42 car of Justin Allgaier makes contact with the 24 of Byron, who is a much slower car, then gets clipped by the 39 car of Ryan Sieg into the inside wall, then ricochets back up into the 39 and the 12 car of Blaney, causing our most recent caution. And now all the cars that did not pit on the most recent pit cycle bring it down pit road. So that does mean that Larson and all those who got trapped 1 lap down will start on the tail end of the lead lap up in front of whoever gets off pit road as the race leader. So that does mean that if we get another caution, they will most likely be back on the lead lap. And we had 1 lead lap car stay out. That's because he already pitted, and that is Eric Almirola. So now the 10 car is your leader in Atlanta. Your first car getting off pit road, however, was Brad Keselowski getting out in front of Kurt Busch, then Timothy Peters and Brandon Jones. Now, the bad part about this strategy for someone, say, like Kurt Busch or Kyle Busch, is that they are going to restart behind quite a few slower cars, including the 42 of Allgaier, with severe damage, as he just recently brought out the caution. So they could get involved in some mess that was not of their own doing by restarting this far in the back. So we are going to restart with just 20 laps to go in the 2020 season. And right up in front of race leader Eric Almirola is the heavily damaged 33 car of Magnussen. So already, right off the bat, they're going to have to make an evasive move to get around that car. Not to mention that just about 3 seconds on the restart behind the race leader is the 18 car of Kyle Busch, who now looks like he has to beat his own brother for the championship with 20 laps remaining. Green flag. There's just 9 cars on the lead lap, as the field already trying to make evasive maneuvers to get around the lap traffic. The 10 car picked the inside line to pass the 33 as well as the 1, as now Brad Keselowski has taken the lead. What's Kyle Busch going to do is now a hole has opened for him to try to take the point lead off the top, with his brother being blocked, as John Hunter Nemechek just about pounded the inside wall, but he managed to gather it back up. Look at the Busch brothers battling for the championship. It's Kyle Busch with a huge amount of momentum off the top, as Kurt's still getting blocked by the 33 car of Magnussen, now cuts to the inside. And look at Timothy Peters trying to make the move on the inside line. Now almost a 4-wide battle for the lead, including lap traffic. Kurt Busch on the bottom. He has now retaken the point lead, with Eric Almirola now trying to take the race lead off of the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Almirola's now got the spot. The 1 car currently running in second position. Kurt Busch trying to win his second championship with 16 years in between the 2. That would set a NASCAR record, breaking the record currently set by Terry Labonte with a 12-year difference, as Kurt Busch gets put into the wall. The 10 car of Almirola spins around. The top 2 cars are taken out. Caution flag is out. Racing back to the flag, the 48 car spins. A huge mess. Kyle Busch gets crashed again. Jimmy Johnson into the wall. In the race back to the start-finish line, it was the 81 car of Brandon Jones leading. So it is currently Brandon Jones, your race leader, above the 87 car of Timothy Peters, and then the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. And also what I mentioned about Larson having to get his way all the way back on the lead lap. Well, guess what? Because of this caution, he is now a lead lap runner with a shot at the championship. Well, it looks like Jimmy Johnson's final points race in the 48 may have just come to an unfortunate end with a whole lot of damage on the 48, although they will most likely try to get him back out running to finish off his career, at least running full-time, with a running race car. So an awful lot just occurred. While running in first and second, Austin Dillon makes contact with Clint Boyer on the back straightaway, spinning Boyer down into the 10 car of Almirola, as well as collecting the 1 car of Kurt Busch on the backstretch. Heavy left side damage on the 1 car of Kurt Busch. And that accident knocks first and second down to around 15th. Then racing back to the start-finish line, the 42 car of Allgaier once again is involved in this one, as it looks like he makes contact with the 48 car of Johnson, spinning Johnson down into the 96, as well as the 87 car of Peters. He got second, racing back to the stripe, all the way in the grass, racing through the race logos. That's incredible. But also on the outside line, the 48 car Johnson gets spun into this. Johnson also collects the 18 car of Kyle Busch, and that 96 car of Drew Herring almost went upside down on the front straightaway, as still more cars ended up piling in. Kurt Busch was lucky to not get more damage out of this incident. There you see the 96 car gets turned to the wall, then gets T-boned by the 00 car of Suarez, almost flipping Herring upside down. This, I believe, is everything you could want and more out of a championship race. I have never seen an event turn into this much of a race of attrition and a race of aggression, as currently you have front runners who have a combined 1 career win, with Brandon Jones winning back at Pocono earlier this year and Timothy Peters in the 87. Nemco Motorsports could pull off a win here at the Cup level at Atlanta if they get a good enough restart on the 81. But with Brandon Jones being a stage winner already in today's race, I bet you it's going to be very difficult to beat that car, as he has been handed the lead due to the 1 and 10 cars spinning on the backstretch a couple laps ago. But how is this championship battle going to fare in this last stint? With the 18 car has been involved in 3 wrecks today. He is currently the point leader, running in 5th position. Kurt Busch has as well been involved in an incident today. That happened just a couple laps ago, and he's just 2 positions behind his brother. Then with the 57 car of Larson, he has not yet been involved in an incident, but he currently is behind several lap cars who can end up blocking him on the restart. So this restart may make or break any of these 3 drivers' shot at the championship, as Kevin Harvick is still 2 laps down in 19th spot, likely completely out of contention. But we still have 3 drivers who could end up winning the title this late in the race. So unfortunately, Jimmy Johnson is officially out of today's race, as the team has put his car behind the wall, and he will end up finishing in 25th position. So Johnson is hoping for a much better farewell race from Hendrick Motorsports next week at the shootout. And there's the green flag with just 13 laps to go here at Atlanta. Timothy Peters trying to figure out a way past the 42 car, as well as Kyle Busch going through the middle. But Brad Keselowski almost onto the apron trying to make up spots. Keselowski from 5th to 2nd on the restart. Kurt Busch hanging back on the restart, with Kyle Larson starting to make up time. Kyle Busch chasing after his 2nd career championship after winning his first in 2015. Unlike the 2015 season, the only races that he has missed this year were due to lack of performance in qualifying. As you see, Larson in the back, going 3 wide on the bottom. He just got around Kurt Busch. The speed in the 1 car has been destroyed after that left side impact. Just remember, they did not pit out of fear of losing track position, so they could not repair the damage. Here comes Keselowski right to the bumper of Brandon Jones as they exit turn number 4. Keselowski still searching for his first win of the 2020 season. At the stripe, it was Brandon Jones to lead. On the exit of turn number 2, still running side by side with the 81 car now getting an advantage. On the exit of turn number 4, Brandon Jones still holding the lead. And now with less than 10 laps to go, the front runners still run side by side for the lead down the backstretch. The 2 car went up to side draft. Through 3 and 4. 81 car trying to build momentum off the top side as Kyle Busch still runs in third. Remember, he does not have any rear bumper cover on that 18 car, but currently is your point leader and running in third. In fact, running down the race leaders. At the stripe, that time by it was actually the 2 car of Keselowski edging out the 81. Into turn number 1, Keselowski trying to dive it into the corner. And Brad Keselowski is now your leader at Atlanta. Keselowski was able to clear the 81 car on the back straightaway, but still Brandon Jones pressuring the 2, now cuts down to the inside. Yet again, side by side. This time it was the 81 to lead. Looks like we're getting set up for another classic Atlanta finish. Side by side, lap after lap. That time out of turn number 2, the 2 car of Keselowski cleared the 81. About half a circuit in front of the race leaders is the 33 car of Magnussen, but he's going slow enough in third gear that they will in fact catch him before the end of the race. The 18 car of Kyle Busch now within 6 laps of his second championship, trying to ease the car home in third position. You know, it used to be that Kyle Larson got runner-up in almost every single race. Well, if he finishes where he is right now, that means he will have been runner-up in the championship standings for the last 2 seasons. Now bridesmaid in more than one way. 81 car of Brandon Jones has ran the 2 car of Keselowski back down within just a car length down the backstretch. Through 1 and 2, this time by, the 81 car lost a significant amount of time on the 2 car of Keselowski. The separation is now almost half a second. And about half a second behind the 81 is the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Still trying to get that 18 car home with a lot of damage on the rear end. If we got a restart, the 57 car of Larson would most likely pass the 18 car and inevitably win the championship. But now, if we get a caution, the race will end under that yellow. So it seems like it's a little bit too late for the 57 car of Larson to recover from being lapped. Now just 2 laps to go here at Atlanta. The separation from first to second is almost exactly half a second, and right up in front of Keselowski is the lap car of Magnussen. Magnussen is currently only running at 154 miles an hour maximum, as he cannot get the car out of third gear. Currently 4th spot is also being held by a damaged car, that being the 12 of Ryan Blaney, the regular season champion, as Keselowski now sees the white flag at Atlanta, trying to win his first race of the season. And there's the lap car of Magnussen right up in front of the 2. They will catch Magnussen, but I'm not sure if any of them can pass him. Magnussen right up in front of the 81. Brandon Jones trying to make the top work. Cuts down to the bottom. Right up to the bumper, but Brad Keselowski will win his first race of the 2020 season, and Kyle Busch is now a 2-time Cup Series champion, defeating his brother due to a late race mistake by the 1. Really one not of his own making. But now Kyle Busch is your 2-time champion, and Brad Keselowski is now the 24th different winner of the 2020 season. That destroys the old record by 5 different winners. So Brad Keselowski is your winner here at Atlanta with his first win of the 2020 season, 24th different winner of the year, by 1 car length above the 81 car Brandon Jones. Then Kyle Busch, finishing in 3rd, has wrapped up his 2nd career championship. Then Eric Almirola in 4th, Ryan Blaney in 5th, Timothy Peters in 6th, Kyle Larson in 7th, 2nd in points yet again. Then the 39 car of Ryan Sieg, 8th. The 34 of Michael McDowell in 9th. And Tyler Ankrum, with a lot of damage on the 23 car, rounds out the top 10. Kyle Busch is now a 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, winning the championship by 4 points above Kyle Larson, who has finished runner-up in the standings 2 years in a row. Kurt Busch, with a late race crash, drops down to 3rd in points, 8 points behind his brother in the championship fight. Kevin Harvick finishes 4th in points for the 2nd year in a row after yet again an early race mistake. This time it was being involved in a crash on lap number 5. The best of the rest in the point standings was Alex Bowman in the 88, as it's already been announced. He's moving over to the 48 car after Jimmy Johnson's retirement. Brandon Jones moves up to 6th in points. Clint Boyer stays in 7th. Matt DiBenedetto drops down to 8th. Ryan Blaney, the regular season champion, ends his season 9th in points. Martin Truex Jr. drops down to 10th. Christopher Bell stays in 11th. Denny Hamlin drops down to 12th. Daniel Suarez falls to 13th. Tyler Reddick stays in 14th. Eric Almirola moves up to 15th. Joey Logano drops down to 16th. Brad Keselowski, with his win at Atlanta, moves up to 17th. Chase Briscoe drops down 18th in the standings. Jimmy Johnson, in his final full-time season, stays in 19th in points. And Eric Jones, today's pole sitter and flipped out and finished 31st, stays 20th in points. The next race is the final time that you will see Cup Series cars on track in the year 2020, and it is the Budweiser Shootout at Texas World Speedway. It's an exhibition race for stage winners. You can catch it all right here on the Speed Station.